now we are going to take up some of the questions of governance from this year's CSE mains paper 2. Paper 2 polity governance and IR. So I'll be taking 2-3 questions from the governance. So there are like every year we have seen that there are approximately 7 to 8 questions from governance, and some of the questions are very basic questions and some of the questions are basic plus current. So now let us take some of the questions. So I'll be taking question number 2. It says that recent amendments to RTI Act will have profound impact on the autonomy and independence of the Information Commission. Discuss. Recent amendments to the RTI Act will have profound impact on the autonomy and independence of the Information Commission. Discuss. This is a very straightforward question, and in our governance syllabus, it is mentioned about transparency, it is mentioned about accountability. And when we are talking about transparency and accountability, so RTI is directly related to your transparency and accountability. So it is linked to the syllabus. The question is linked to the syllabus, and at the same time, this has been in the news. The recent amendments to the RTI. So while we were doing this in the class, we were thinking of like there might be a question on this changes or amendments to the RTI Act, recent amendments, or there might be a question about has the time come to bring political parties under the ambit of RTI. So we were just discussing, and fortunately this question has come. So we have discussed it in the current also, but anyways, this is a very straightforward question, very straightforward questions. It is talking about the recent amendments to the RTI Act will have profound impact on the autonomy and independence of the Information Commission. Discuss. So this is a straightforward question, and you should be knowing about the facts about the recent amendments. So what are the changes that have been brought to the RTI Act recently? Recently, we have seen that there have been changes which are like the tenure, with respect to tenure and salaries of your information commissioners. So earlier, when the RTI Act 2005 was brought, so under that we have the Central Information Commission was formed, and under this RTI Act, there was a fixed tenure of 5 years. So there was a fixed tenure of 5 years for the information commissioners, chief information commissioner and information commissioner. So now this fixed tenure has been removed. It has been altered. Now it depends on the government, central government. The tenure is now dependent on the central government. So that is one major change that has been brought, and another major change which has been brought under the RTI Act 2005, your CIC, Chief Information Commissioner, was getting the salary equivalent to your Chief Election Commissioner, and your information commissioners were getting salary equivalent to your election commissioners. Similarly, आपका जो state में था, state के जो election, जो state के आपके chief information commissioner थे, उनकी salary जो थी आपकी election commissioners के बराबर थी, and आपकी जो है state information commissioners की जो आपकी state के secretary के बराबर थी. So now the thing is, these are the two important changes that have been brought. The question is directly asking you कि इसका impact क्या होगा autonomy and independence of the Information Commission. So earlier they were working fearlessly because they had a fixed tenure, they had a fixed salary. But now the tenure जो fix जो था उनका जो fix था tenure उसको उन्होंने हटा दिया है. So now they are at the mercy of the political high command. So when they are at the mercy of the political high command, so आपकी जो है independence अपने आप जो है compromise हो जाती है. There are people who are working fearlessly, but there are sometimes political pressure. Then you do not have a fixed tenure, you do not have a fixed salary. So if you are not listening to the higher authorities, so there might be chances that you it would be used against you. है ना, ये जो चीजें आपकी है, आपकी ट्रांसफर हो सकती है, आपका टेन्योर नॉट ट्रांसफर, आपका टेन्योर कट शॉर्ट किया जा सकता है, आपकी सैलरीज जो है वो आपकी सर्टेन नहीं है. तो बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल दीज थिंग्स, बिकॉज दीज आर द टू मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स which gives you stability, which gives you independence, which gives you that kind of autonomy to work against the corrupt people. But ये जो आपकी जो stability factors थे, the two main stability factors have been removed. So that is why it is going to impact the autonomy and independence of the Information Commission. And what is the rationale which has been given by the government? The rationale which has been given by the government is like Election Commission. It's a statutory body. It's not a statutory body. It's not a constitutional body जो है आपकी. So why should they be given the salaries? Why should they be given the equivalent status as your Election Commission? And the cases against CIC could be taken up in the courts. So they are saying that they are not having that kind of authority or autonomy like we have for the constitutional bodies. So that is constitutional body, not statutory. For the like, it is not a constitutional. I wrongly use the word like it's a statutory body. Election Commission की तरह ये constitutional body नहीं है. So we cannot make them at par with the election commissioner or chief election commissioner. So that is what is the rationale given by the government. So the question is directly talking about recent amendments to the RTI Act will have profound impact on the autonomy and independence of the Information Commission discussed. So what you can do is you can you may start about writing the importance of transparency and accountability, or the importance of RTI under Article 19(1). The right to information is one of the fundamental rights. Even the Basic Human Rights Charter also talks about right to information is very, very fundamental. And then you can talk about the recent amendments. You list the recent amendments, what was there in the original act and what are the amendments there, and then you talk about like how it is going to impact upon the autonomy and independence. And then in the end we need to talk about that we can talk about like we need to bring more we should give more powers to the RTI Act. So that is why we need to give them proper constitutional status देने की जरूरत है. We need to give constitutional status to these this Information Commission so that the people have trust, and democracy can thrive only when we have a very strong RTI Act. So these are some of the things that could be written, but the crux is we have to this is a current fact-based question where we should be knowing about the recent amendments which have been there. Now, let us take the second question. Second question that I would be taking is with respect to your civil services. If you see the civil service, role of civil service in democracy, this is what is given in the syllabus, and we have seen that in the past few years they are often asking questions with respect to civil service reforms. When lateral entry was in the news, they have asked this question with respect to reforms in the civil services. Lateral entry se lekar ke they have asked, and this year this mission Karam Yogi was in the news. Pandemic के time पे दो missions have been too much in the news. One was your Atmanirbhar Bharat and your mission Karam Yogi. So it was expected that something with respect to civil services might be asked. So the question has been there. Question number 7. Institutional quality. Institutional quality is a crucial driver of economic performance. In this context, reforms in civil services for strengthening democracy. Okay. It is saying that institutional quality is a crucial driver of economic performance. So, there is a very positive correlation between institutional quality and economic performance. Better the institutional quality, higher would be the economic performance. So, institutional quality is a crucial driver of economic performance. In this context, reforms in civil services for strengthening democracy. Now, we have to talk about the reforms in civil services which are related to your economic performance. We do not need to talk about the reforms in civil services from every perspective, because it is saying in this context, means जो ये institutional quality, civil services is a institution, it's a part of the government, it's a part of your permanent executive. So it is saying that civil services का जो reform है, that is an important driver of economic performance. So economic performance के लिए civil services reform is very, very essential. So what reforms are required for strengthening democracy here? So democracy is what? Here we will just try to first understand. We are not going to write anything or everything that we know about the civil services reforms. We have to relate it with the economic performance. So crucial driver of economic performance. So why do we need economic performance? So economic performance hogi aapki, just understand this question. When there is economic performance, there will be more economic growth, and when there will be more economic growth, it will lead to more economic development. When there is going to be more economic development, this will lead to more welfare of the people. Welfare of the people means उनका health, उनका education, उनका employment, everything would grow. Or we can when there is more economic development, more employment would be there, more per capita income would be there, everything would be more. So ultimately, how it is going to impact? It is going to further strengthen democracy. है ना? अगर आप when you are more economically well off, when you are more economically stable, you are strengthening democracy because आपका health अच्छा है, आपका जो है economic angle अच्छा है, आपका employment अच्छा है, आपका education अच्छा है, तो ultimately it is strengthening democracy, overall democracy or economic democracy as in particular. So this is what is like economic performance will lead to economic growth से economic development होगी, and economic development से आपका क्या होता है, आपकी democracy strengthen होती है. So now the question is, this institutional quality जो है आपकी, उससे economic performance है. अब ये जो economic performance, it depends on institutional quality. So here this institutional quality according to the context of the question is civil services. है ना? So now we have to, the question is asking you the reforms which are required in the civil services to promote economic performance. So how the role of civil services, or what is the role of civil services in economic performance? If we understand that, then only we can suggest reforms accordingly. So economic performance this is not the part of the question, but this is the part of the question which we should understand clearly, then we can write to the point कि economic performance में इनका role क्या है, and अगर वो role समझ में आएगा, then हमें उसकी problem समझ में आएगी, and then हम उसके लिए जो है reforms. So it is saying strengthening democracy, in this context reforms in civil services. तो कौन से reforms चाहिए कि वो economic role के performance को better कर सके. So when we talk about civil services as a institution, so with respect to your economic development, so civil services play a very, very important role. Civil services play a important role in your financial planning. Civil services play a very important role in your implementation of schemes, subsidies, आपका service delivery mechanism. Civil services play a very important role. Civil services also play a very important role in the development of cottage industries. Civil services also play a very important role in the infrastructure development. Civil services also play a very important role in finding out the areas which could be developed. So जो आपकी इकोनॉमिक परफॉर्मेंस, इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ के लिए सिविल सर्विसेज जो है बहुत सारे, रूरल इकोनॉमी में इट हैज अ मेजर रोल टू प्ले, अर्बन इकोनॉमी में इट हैज अ मेजर रोल टू प्ले. सो these, and then when we talk about economic development in a democracy, when we talk about economic development in a democracy, economic development in democracy is also talking about working along with civil societies, working along with the private sector. So that is, they are also playing a very important role in the economic development in a democratic setup. So these are some of the roles where your civil servants have to coordinate with civil societies, where civil servants have to coordinate with your corporate sectors also, because they are also the partners in development. So these are the areas where we see that the civil services play a economic performance role. Now, when we see the role, what we see is, like when we talk about economic performance, what do we require? We require civil services to understand that, to understand the requirement of the economic development. So that is what we say, that we need experts, we do not need journalists here. And yahi pe aapki wo lateral entry ka bhi concept aaya. So what kind of reforms? We need domain experts, we need proper people who understand the financial planning, people who are very good in service delivery mechanism, people who are very fast in understanding the market and changing the mindset, because you have to work with the civil society, you have to work with the corporate sector. So we need to bring certain changes in the mindset also, because this bureaucracy or the civil servants, civil services, they are hierarchical. They are status quoist. They do not want to change. They are very hierarchical. Red tapeism is there. Economic performance needs fast change according to the changing economic conditions. So we have to change fast. We have to foresee the change. So these things are lacking in the civil services. So आपका जो है फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग में इनका लैकिंग दिखता है, एक्सपर्टीज नहीं है इनके पास, एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, दे आर स्टेटस कोइस, दे डू नॉट वांट टू वर्क विद द सिविल सोसाइटी, दे डू नॉट वांट टू वर्क with your private sector, they want to concentrate the powers. But when we are talking about economic growth, so we have to, and in a democracy we have to take everyone along with us. So, and then they are not with the changing economy, we need to have time to time understanding of the market. There should be a collaboration between your market and your administration. What is the requirement, what is the need? Then there should be a kind of time to time orientation training should be there. There should be digital platforms through which from time to time they should be provided training. There should be a platform where we have the industry experts are there, scholars are there, other people are there, so that they can be oriented according to the demand of the market. So these are some of the reforms which are required, and that is what is, if you see, the recent reforms that we have seen in the Mission Karm Yogi, it also talks about iGOT platform, that is your government ka aapka internet ka jo platform hai. It is also talking about committee or a pool of the experts bringing together them. It also talks about on the site training. It also talks about your from rule-based to role-based models of development. They should be, rather than rule-bound, they should be role-bound. So these are the things which are required for the civil services to bring the performance, economic performance, to enhance the economic performance. So you have to suggest such kind of reforms. You don't write everything about the Mission Karm Yogi. You write your points, and you can also mention that even second ARC has recommended about it from time to time. Even this recent Mission Karm Yogi has also talked about it. So you can use these as to substantiate what you are suggesting. But overall, the main clue of the question is that you have to think it from the economic performance, not all the reforms that are required for civil services. So you may begin with the showing that how institutional quality is very important, that there is a positive correlation, and then you can talk about like what are the problems that we see in civil services with respect to your economic performance. Very briefly write that, and main focus should be on suggesting reforms, and there you can mention the suggestions given by various committees, commissions and various other missions. Now question number 8. Question number 8. The emergence of fourth industrial revolution, in the bracket digital revolution, has initiated e-governance as an integral part of the government. This is 150 words question. Now the question is, this is a question, e-governance is directly written in your syllabus. E-governance is a part of your governance. syllabus. So the emergence of fourth industrial revolution has initiated e-governance as an integral part of the government discuss. Now here you see that the emergence of fourth industrial revolution, this fourth industrial revolution you study in your global industries, either in your economics part of your syllabus or in your geography part of your syllabus. So this, if you see, this question is like, this is the thing that we study either in economics or geography, and then we are linking it with governance. So there is a linkage between two parts, because इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन हम जो है गवर्नेंस में नहीं पढ़ते हैं, बट इन्होंने वहां के पार्ट को इसके साथ इंटरलिंक करके पूछा. वेरी नाइस क्वेश्चन. सो द इमर्जेंस ऑफ फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन हैज इनिशिएटेड ई गवर्नेंस एज एन इंटीग्रल पार्ट ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. So, as we all have been studying about when we are preparing for UPSC, so almost everyone is aware about fourth industrial revolution. There have been three, it's the fourth industrial revolution, तो इससे पहले तीन हुई हैं, ठीक है. First industrial revolution has been there, आपका सेकेंड इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन हैज बीन देयर, आपका जो है असेंबली लाइन प्रोडक्शन हुआ आपका सेकेंड, देन थर्ड इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन में देयर वाज मोर यूज ऑफ योर आईसीटी और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का आपका मोर यूज हुआ, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स कम्युनिकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी. एंड द फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन, if the concept, the term has been given by Klaus Schwab, who is the World Economic Forum founder. 2015 में उन्होंने फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन की बात की थी, ठीक है. So fourth industrial revolution, if you go by the definition of industrial revolution, fourth industrial revolution, it talks about the fusion of your physical technologies, it talks about the fusion of your digital and biological, all technologies. It talks about the linkage between the all. But UPSC has very clearly said that in this question, you do not need to go for nanotechnology, biotechnology, or you do not need to go for your other technologies. You have to mainly focus on digital revolution. है ना, यहाँ पे फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन इज ओनली डिजिटल रिवोल्यूशन इन दिस क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन देख करके वी बिकम वेरी हैप्पी कि हमें तो सब कुछ पता है, इसमें बायो नैनो सब डाल दो. नो, बिकॉज इट इज क्लियरली सेइंग डिजिटल रिवोल्यूशन. सो द इमर्जेंस ऑफ फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन हैज इनिशिएटेड ई गवर्नेंस एज एन इंटीग्रल पार्ट ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ठीक है, इट्स अ वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन. द ओनली थिंग इज वी हैव टू डेवलप द लिंकेज कि फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन और व्हाट यू कॉल इज डिजिटल रिवोल्यूशन. ठीक है, यू हैव टू शो द डायरेक्ट रिलेशनशिप between this is directly related to your e-governance. This is what you have to show in your answer कि फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन और जो है आपका ई गवर्नेंस और डिजिटल रिवोल्यूशन जो है वो आपका ई गवर्नेंस को बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. सो व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन वी से दैट, व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट एनी इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन, है ना, एनी इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन से क्या होता है, कोई भी इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन होती है तो इट प्रोवाइड्स यू जॉब्स, अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलती हैं, है ना. Any industrial revolution would go for jobs, opportunities, it would go for more economic development. Industrial revolution, it also makes the role of government as facilitator, regulator, some areas regulator also, because everything can't be left in the hands of the market. So role of the government as facilitator, regulator, service provider. It increases the role of the government. So कोई भी इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन हुई है, सो व्हाट वी हैव सीन, चाहे आपकी जो है ब्रिटेन से आप शुरू करो, आपकी इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन से लेके फर्स्ट, सेकंड, थर्ड, इन एवरी इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन वी हैव सीन दैट द रोल ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट हैज इंक्रीज फ्रॉम फैसिलिटेटर, रेगुलेटर, सर्विस प्रोवाइडर. ठीक है, एंड व्हेन द this industry was working on the analog platform, government was also working on the analog platform. Now this industrial revolution has become your digital industrial revolution. So accordingly, government also has to go for all its role on the digital platform, because digital जब आपके सामने आ जाता है, when it becomes digital means it is going for a wider coverage, है ना. जब कोई भी चीज आपकी डिजिटल है, digital means it is going for a wider coverage, it is increasing the options, it is increasing the diversity, and at the same time it is creating data, है ना. तो जब डेटा आ जाता है तो आपकी डेटा है आपका और वाइडर कवरेज है आपका, तो रोल ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट ऑल्सो बिकम्स वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग देयर. एंड इफ everything is happening on the digital platform, then government also has to go for the digital platform. So government को जो है आपका e-governance को अपनाना ही पड़ेगा. So as the industries have grown, accordingly we have seen the changes in the governance structure. So now that the industry is becoming digital, even government has to become digital. So we have seen that the fourth industrial revolution has initiated e-governance as an integral part. So fourth industrial revolution is now talking about service delivery through your like we talk about agriculture, आपका agri marketing, everything is happening on your डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म. आपका जो फार्मर्स हैं वो आपके डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म में है, आपका जो है डेटा फोरकास्टिंग देख रहे हैं, वेदर फोरकास्टिंग देख रहे हैं, दे आर सीइंग इट ऑन द डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म. ठीक है, आपका जो है स्कूलिंग है डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पे हो रही है, आपका जो है हेल्थ इंडस्ट्री, सर्विस इंडस्ट्री, एवरीथिंग वी आर सीइंग डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म. स्पेशली इन दिस टाइम ऑफ पेंडेमिक, द होल इंडस्ट्रीज, ऑलमोस्ट एवरी सर्विस प्रोवाइडर इज ऑन द डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म. सो अकॉर्डिंगली गवर्नमेंट इज ऑल्सो ऑन द डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म. जो उसके गवर्नेंस के तरीके हैं, ठीक है, अगर उनको रिकॉर्ड रखना है फार्मर्स का तो इट इज गोइंग ऑन द डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म. अगर उनको जो है आपको डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट ट्रांसफर्स देने हैं, आधार से सबको लिंक करना है, आपका जो है सर्विस प्रोवाइड करनी है हेल्थ in this time of your COVID, we have seen that government has provided lot of medicines, and आपका जो है online telemedicine के through we have provided assistance to many of the people who were infected by COVID-19. So everything is getting digital. And government e-governance as an integral, जो आपका government as a role of facilitator, regulator, service provider, आपका जो है direct benefit transfers, आपका जितने भी programs हैं, आपका जो है your now in this digital era, even your money is now becoming digital. Government is talking about BHIM app, government is talking about online transfers, government is saying that, our prime minister is saying that your wallet is एवरीथिंग. ठीक है, आपका जो पर्स है वही आपका सब कुछ है, वहीं पे आपका आधार है, वहीं पे आपका पासपोर्ट है, आपके पर्स में ही आपका जो है डिजिटल जो आपके पास लॉकर है, एवरीथिंग इज गेटिंग डिजिटल. सो वी कैन सब्सटैंशिएट दिस लाइक हाउ this fourth industrial revolution means, which is bringing a revolution in the economic arena, which is bringing the revolution in the social arena. सारे जो areas हैं वहाँ पे आपका digital चीजें आ गई हैं. So accordingly government also has to become digital, and we have ample number of examples to substantiate it. Like BharatNet है आपका, Digital India program है आपका, then आपका साइबर डोम प्रोजेक्ट, एवरीथिंग. बिकॉज गवर्नेंस में जो है आपका, गवर्नेंस में यू आर ऑल्सो टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द डेटा, है ना, जो डेटा है, डेटा सिक्योरिटी, एवरीथिंग, इवन गवर्नेंस स्ट्रक्चर हैज टू बिकम डिजिटल. नाउ द पीपल आर ऑल्सो डिमांडिंग फास्ट, they are demanding the fast service delivery from the government. They are demanding more transparency from the government. They are demanding more accountability from the government, because everything is now on the digital platform. So the government accordingly has to change also. So that is why this fourth industrial revolution or digital revolution has initiated a e-governance as an integral part of the government. Because अगर आपका जो इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन अगर आपका डिजिटल है और गवर्नमेंट एनालॉग होगी, तो देयर वुड बी अ बिग मिसमैच. So that is why this is what you have to show, the relationship between this, and you can give examples of various examples जो आपके गवर्नमेंट के हैं. आपका आधार लिंकेज प्रोग्राम इज देयर, आपका जितने भी आपके रिसेंट इनिशिएटिव्स हैं with respect to your digital India, you can talk about it. So this is a very straightforward but at the same time very interesting question, because it is linking your fourth industrial revolution with your e-governance.